You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Infinite diversity.
Live long and prosper, and welcome to Infinite Diversity, a Star Trek Universe podcast here on the BQN Podcast Collective. I'm your host for today, Chrissie, and joining me is my co-host, Thad. Thad, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. Just using a movie to work through some therapeutic life stuff, but other than that, fine.
No, that's okay. I mean, I feel like all Star Trek fans we do that anyway.
It's true.
So, it's, yeah. Better to punch holograms than real people, always.
Depends on the person.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
There are certain people that, I wouldn't be too upset if they were punched. Just say it.
Yeah. Always punch Nazis.
Indeed.
Okay, so also joining us today is Dan Gunther from Positively Track. Dan, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing very well. Very happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. Very excited to do the show with you.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. It is good to have you here. Before we jump into our topic for the day, we'd like to take a moment to thank our Patreon patrons who make our show possible, particularly our associate producers, Carl Wonders and Justin Oser. Listeners, you can hear your name listed as one of our associate producers for a monthly subscription of just $10 at patreon.com/BQN. And with a monthly Patreon subscription of just $5, you can join our meetings of the Hive Mind on the second Saturday of each month, or sometimes on the third Saturday, and watch your Patreon messages for detail. Okay, so before we get into our episode, we recorded last week before the New York Comic-Con panels happened. So now we have some trailers to talk about. Yeah, so we'll start with Discovery, because I kind of feel like, yep, that's Discovery, and it looks cool. But I'm jonesing for Picard stuff.
Discovery didn't really tell us too much, which we wouldn't expect a trailer at this point to. I mean, based on what they were saying at the panel and what we see in the trailer, it sounds like we may actually get a less high stakes season this time, where they're not spending the whole season saving the universe, which I am excited for. I want to see more other stuff happening.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I'm most excited about that. If, again, that premise holds true and they kind of stick to that, I can see where it could, start to get into some more existential crisis threats, which it's kind of to be expected, but let's not have the entire galaxy, the entire universe, all of everything at stake. I'm excited for more of just a rollicking adventure with some stakes, but not the existence of all life as we know it, etc., etc.
Yes.
At this point, I'd be happy if it were just a single planet or solar system that was in danger. Even though that still sounds terrible, because that would be billions of people. But anyway. Yeah, so that looks like it's going to be fun, and we really don't know much else. And yay, okay. So, Picard trailer, right?
Yes!
Oh, yes.
I am so excited. February 16th is too far away.
Yes, it is. And I don't normally want, winter to be here any quicker. But then again, that'll be close to the end of winter.
Yeah, that's almost the end of winter at that point, yeah.
Now, so yeah. Mm-hmm. So I have to tell a funny story about this, right? We had a family friend's wedding last weekend. Was at 4:00, of course. So didn't have a chance to watch panels or anything. But there's always that time in between the ceremony and the dinner, and you're kind of sitting around. And that was when the trailer dropped. So I'm sitting there with my sister and Jay and Dom. And we're like, all right, we're going to go watch the trailer. So we run outside so we can watch it on my phone, a little tiny. And apparently somebody thought we were taking a very long selfie. I made that joke in our chat, but people are like, because we were kind of off to the side. We saw Moriarty, and we got so excited about that and started talking right away that we completely missed Lore. Just
Oh, wow.
completely. And I was looking at it, I was looking at Twitter later, and I was, oh my God, how did we miss that? And I'm like, oh yeah, because it was Moriarty.
Well, Moriarty is the big reveal.
Funny.
Like,
Yeah.
Lore is cool, but Lore didn't surprise me too much. It's like we knew Brent was coming back in some capacity, but Moriarty, no one expected that, and I am very excited for that. I don't recall who it was, but someone on Twitter speculated that perhaps Moriarty is not a villain, and that they bring Moriarty in to fight Lore, because after all, Moriarty was the original creation of Moriarty was an enemy who could defeat Data, so he may be able to also work against Lore. So if that is true, I think that's awesome, and I really want to see that, because obviously he's not going to just do it out of the goodness of his heart. There's going to be some quid pro quo for that, and it'll be very interesting to see. Of course, I could be completely wrong, and he could just be a villain, and that's also fine.
I saw that too, and I don't remember who said it, but awesome kudos to whoever did.
Yes, absolutely.
And I hope that that's the case.
Yeah.
And if it's not the case, then we need somebody to write that book.
Yeah,
So,
very clever.
Yeah. Or comic or something.
Yeah, that could be a comic. They're doing some real interesting things with the comics now.
Yeah. Oh man, Star Trek Defiant looks wild. But yeah. But yeah, my reaction was very similar. I didn't miss the Lore thing. I was watching it myself, but the Daniel Davis Moriarty reveal, like, Daniel Davis is amazing, and I love him. So to have just more screen time with him, that's great. So excited for Moriarty. That came up. I was like, oh wow, that's wild. And then the last little bit with Geordi going Lore, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, that was more or less my reaction too.
It's fine.
Yeah,
Whatever. We knew he was going to be in. We knew Spiner was going to be in it somehow, and that's one of the ways. So okay. He doesn't look. He looks more human though. Mm-hmm. Which makes me think about the books and how we have Data who has taken over. Spoilers for 20-year-old books. Data.
They're really good
over.
books, though.
yes.
Oh, they are so good. Soong's body. Gods, I couldn't think of his name for a moment. Yeah, so in the book, Soong creates a body for himself. So he didn't really die, like so many.
It depends
people
how you define die.
Well, okay, yeah. he's still around in an android body. Whether or not that's a reincarnation, we can leave to the philosophers. But and he looks like a human. He doesn't look android-like, and he has like this like not quite shape-shifting capacity, but he can make himself look like anything, which is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And that's all wrapped up in a storyline about artificial life in an organization that's existed since forever because of was it the Requiem for Methuselah guy?
Yeah, Flint.
It's been a while since I read it.
All his other
Flint,
names.
yeah. and so I'm wondering if maybe we're going to get some of that, and if it's not Moriarty against Lore, which I really, really want it to be now, but if it's not, that my first thought was, I wonder if we're going to see something akin to this organization.
That would be really cool. That was a wonderful way to tie in all the, various androids we saw in the original series. And then TNG comes along and Data's unique. He's the only android. And all the longtime Star Trek fans are going, wait. So that was a wonderful way to bring that all together. And I'd love to see them, touch on that wider lore in Picard Season 3.
This makes me think there's a possibility we might see Robert Picardo as well.
Okay, that's
particularly
certainly possible.
Yeah, if there's a quid pro quo about Moriarty, the most logical thing for him to have would be a mobile emitter.
Yeah,
and I can't imagine there's only one of them anymore. So actually, there's potentially a whole storyline bringing back to season 1 because they could have been using holograms instead of androids for that stuff, and why weren't they? And what's that?
I honestly have been wondering since season 1, like, what the ban on synths, what implications the ban on synths had on holographic life.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised in season 1 that didn't come up as part of the text of the story with the Rios holograms and the, index hologram at the Starfleet archives and stuff. So I kind of thought they were going in that direction, that there would at least be kind of lip service paid to that and what the difference is, but it never really came up.
Yeah. So I was going to say, vis-a-vis Lore not looking like he did, that comes back to, and I'm glad that they went this route and not very good de-aging CG.
Yes.
And it comes back to a line. Well, it comes back to it's a lot easier to just put makeup on Brent Spiner and say Lore's older now. But the in-universe explanation comes back to, I believe, Inheritance. Is that the episode with Data's mother?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There's a line where Crusher says that she's designed to age just like you when she talks to Data, to imply that even though he's a synthetic life form, he's still going to appear to age outwardly as he gets older. So I think that's what's happening with Lore.
Mm-hmm. I always like that line as like a butt covering for future appearance of Data. Yes. It's like, that's clever.
Smart. Yeah. And you can even play with that, because you could say that if he didn't want to age, he could just turn that off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or rejigger it to make it work. So, yeah.
Or turn back the clock every 30 years or so.
Yeah. Because functionally immortal, except for not.
Oh, Nemesis.
Yeah. So, what else happened in the trailer? Okay, we have Pacifist Worf.
Okay, so he's not...
Yeah, he says he prefers.
He prefers pacifism. It's not the same thing as being a 100% pacifist. We see him fighting in the trailer. So he is definitely... I think what we're seeing here is a Worf who has definitely gone through a lot in his life, and now is a very different person than he was on TNG, where he would go to violence as his first resort, and now it's supposed to be his last resort. Although I did love that when he says that, Riker just says, "We're all gonna die."
Perfect.
That interplay
Absolutely
was
perfect.
Beautiful.
And I like how that's going to play in with the Raffi, whatever's going on with Raffi, because that's definitely who he's talking about when he's saying.
I'm glad that they're not just leaving that storyline behind, because I mean, there's certainly a temptation with season 3 for them to basically tell a brand new story, but it's clear that they are continuing Raffi's story from season 2, where she definitely has some things to work through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was nice to see in the trailer for sure. I also realized we only have 10 episodes, and they're not going to do this. Like, I know this isn't going to happen. But with Worf's new philosophy, I would love for Alexander to come back, who has now embraced a warrior lifestyle and is like, are you kidding me? Like, I did everything you wanted, Dad, and really, you're a quote-unquote pacifist now?
Oh, that would be cool.
That would be cool, or it would also be cool to see that it was Alexander who influenced him in that direction.
That's
Either
a
way.
really good point, too, yeah.
Yeah. Again, going back to the novels, he ends up an ambassador, and he does an excellent job at it, so...
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. Although I think it would be more in keeping with the story of those two if he had taken up warrior, and Worf was now doing the opposite, because that's always their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
We get the Enterprise F.
Yeah.
Yes, got that, and they're paying attention to the games.
Yeah, that is
particularly
the
Star Trek Online
model
so
of the Enterprise F as seen in Star Trek Online. There's a couple designers that worked for it on Star Trek Online. The current starship designer for Star Trek Online is Thomas Maroney, and he's the one who sort of updated this and provided it to the show. I know he is. I know Thomas. He's a friend of mine, and he is over the moon that a ship that he designed is now part of Star Trek. And actually, that happened. There were a couple in the background in season 2 in that initial fight that were also from Star Trek Online. But yeah, he's very excited about this, and I can't blame him.
No, that's so cool. That's so cool. Also, you know everyone.
I don't know everyone.
Yeah, it is beautiful to see that on screen and realize like that. And I can't even imagine what he must be feeling. Like, what a point of pride. I love it.
I mean, you could figure, like, okay, I assume he was a Trek fan before he started working on it.
Oh, yeah.
Because, yeah. And so then the idea of, like, wow, I get to design stuff that's going to be in the Star Trek video game. And then, like, oh, wait, they picked it up for actual canon stuff? Oh, my God.
Yeah, I know, right?
Make sure he doesn't have a heart attack,
Yeah.
out of happiness.
I can't wait to see the bridge of the Enterprise F.
Yeah.
That's my... Yeah.
So, based on that, I'm pretty sure, and we talked about this before, I think, from the first teaser trailer from San Diego. It was in San Diego that we got the last trailer, right?
That sounds right.
Yeah. The scene where Riker says, "Hello, beautiful." He's talking about the Enterprise. He's not talking about the Titan. We saw the Titan in that teaser, but he's talking about the Enterprise.
Yeah. Now that we've gotten confirmation that it's in there, that makes total sense to me.
I still think it's a possibility that it's the Enterprise D saucer.
I also, yes.
It's been turned into like a museum or something.
Okay, yeah, that rumor has been going around so much, and we know there's people who have seen it. There's also, Patrick Stewart basically said it, and then Paramount immediately was like, nope, which, yeah, no. We're getting the Enterprise D saucer in some way. It's gotta happen.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it would be wonderful. And that might tie into the Moriarty thing.
Ooh.
I mean, I know he was in
Picard's ready room.
But yeah.
Oh, I'm even more mad on behalf of Moriarty now. If not only was he just left in that thing to linger, they left him on the Enterprise D in a pile of rubble somewhere. Like, oh man, really?
He's just chilling with the Kurlan Nazgûs,
Exactly, and the fish, right? He doesn't know.
I'm sure surely they rescued the fish.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, the fish went to Cetacean Ops.
Right, yeah, okay.
While it was being, yeah.
I was making the joke about the Kurlan Nazgûs because it's the artifact that he got from his mentor,
Galen.
But in that scene, the last scene in Generations, when he's finding his photo album, he sort of tosses it aside. This priceless artifact and for his photo album. So that's why I was joking about that.
Yeah. Classic.
People joke about that, but I actually think that was intentional on their part because it indicated... Yeah, I mean, it indicated the importance of family to him versus other things, even something that important.
Yeah, but he could have taken both.
Who's to say he doesn't take both? I mean, just because he went to get the family album, particularly himself, doesn't mean that somebody else didn't go in and collect the rest of his stuff.
Also, it's the 24th century. Why is his family album only available in that book? But anyway...
Because his father was a Luddite. We know that.
Fair. Okay.
Actually, I'm going to say that is a copy that he has that is maybe something that was kept by the family in addition to, photos in the cloud like you do.
Fair enough.
My favorite aspect, just to go on a tangent, of that album is like
the
little 90s holographic borders around the photos.
Yes.
Nice.
Ooh, this'll look future-y.
Yes. It's like one step away from when we see the Harry Potter photos like 6 years later, and they're just slightly moving a little bit.
Yeah, no tangents allowed on Infinite
Oh
Diversity.
God, there's only 7 years. Generations was 94.
Generations was 94. Mm-hmm. That was
94. There's
28 years ago.
Oof.
Yeah, and there's only 7 years between that and the first Harry Potter movie.
Yes.
And I don't know what, that's just a drastic thing in my head. I don't know why.
The first Harry Potter movie was 21 years ago. You are correct.
It was.
Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone can drink. Or do they call it the Philosopher's Stone where you are, Dan?
Yep, Philosopher's Stone up here.
Yeah, it's just here in the U.S. where they didn't think people would know what a philosopher was.
And I don't blame them, quite frankly.
Well, okay, so it's not that they didn't know they didn't think people would know what a Philosopher's Stone is, and that's fair, right. Because I didn't until I read the book.
Okay.
But, I mean, that's a good point, though, because, like, how do we learn things from being exposed to them like that? And let's just not, because, I don't know. That was always a weird decision,
I think they just didn't think the book would sell well with that title. And never mind that it sold really well in every other English-speaking country with that title.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah, whatever. And they didn't change other English isms, too. You know, when he gets the sweaters, Ron calls them jumpers. He doesn't call them sweaters.
Okay, so that's not in... So that's in the later books. They stopped doing that. They stopped changing them after the first couple books because it was now popular. But in the first book, they did actually change a few things.
Okay, I will have to go back and look. Maybe I did definitely get a later edition because I didn't read it right away.
So in the first book, for instance, they say mom instead of mum, and after that they say mum because that's the way the British do it. They really Americanized that first book because they didn't think people would read it if they didn't.
Oh wow!
It's sort of like how when Downton Abbey aired on PBS in the U.S., they cut a bunch of the inheritance stuff because they thought it would be boring for American audiences.
Oh wow! I had no idea about that.
I didn't know about that either.
Yes.
They undermined the entire plot of the show because it might be boring. Okay.
Yeah, and they gave it an intro explaining how British inheritance worked ahead of time, which that actually I'm fine with because it was Masterpiece Theater and they always have the guy introducing Masterpiece Theater. But also I hate that the Masterpiece Theater music isn't the same as it was when I was a kid, but that's a whole other
I get that.
Yes.
But yeah, no, the original broadcast version on PBS was shorter than the British version because they cut some of the more technical inheritance plot lines or parts of the plot because they thought that American audiences wouldn't connect with it.
Wow. Huh.
Yes, because, women in this country were allowed to inherit things right away. Just, from the beginning. All right, well, that's enough of other television shows on BQN.
Is it, though?
And movies.
Is it,
no,
though?
It's never enough. No. Excuse me. If I ever have more time in my life, I'm going to do a Downton Abbey run-through and a Mad Men run-through and... Oh, so much. Anyway.
If you want to do a Downton Abbey podcast, I'm in.
I know, we've talked about that. And if I'm ever not teaching at 3 schools, doing a triple load, because I'm a freaking adjunct at any time, then I would be down for that.
I would definitely be available to guest for that.
Ooh,
I love Downton.
Awesome. All right. Well, we got that settled. Now I just need a full-time job. Anybody who wants a full-time historians? All right. So until we have this Downton Abbey podcast on BQN, let's continue talking about the trailer. I think Geordie's family is the only other thing that we haven't talked about, I think.
Yeah.
So we got Geordie's daughters, one of which actually played by a LeVar Burton daughter, which I think is freaking awesome.
It's cool, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And the other is the helmsman of the Titan, I believe. That's pretty cool.
I wasn't sure which ship, so that is cool. That's okay.
I've seen that said online, so I'm just going with that.
Oh, okay.
I think
cool.
That's right.
And that is really cool because, of course, Geordie started out as a helm officer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be an Enterprise without a LaForge at the... Wait, that's not... No. But, also the names, of course, we get Alondra and Sydney, which are right from All Good Things, where Picard's talking to Geordie and says, the little ones, Brett, Alondra, and Geordie, Sydney. Oh, yeah, Sydney. So that's kind of a neat little... callback there.
Mm-hmm. And also, they're not little.
Yeah.
Which I love that. Let's assume they're the same age in that, and the little ones. It's kind of like you call everybody kids once you get to a certain age. Yeah, and the great question of are these Leah Brahms's children as well? You know.
How do we feel about that?
Yeah, I was just about to say, I don't know. I do not know.
Yeah. That was not the most unproblematic relationship in the universe, to put it lightly.
No. But, you know, I have a block sometimes on seeing people having affairs that end up turning into long-standing relationships, because that's how my parents started out. So, like, I see that, and I'm like, it works for some people.
And we don't even know if it was an affair. Her
Oh, no, that's true.
her marriage to her previous husband may have completely ended amicably, or not even amicably, but could have ended before may not have been amicable for all we know. But
she could have been widowed.
Yeah.
Or he could have left.
We could have a situation that they, I think, allude to but never actually explain in the novels, where apparently they're in some sort of polyamorous thing.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Interesting. I think they should throw everybody a curveball and just have it be some random person we've never met.
Or a random person we have met.
Well, okay. Yeah, but not that we would expect to be with him.
Like,
right?
someone we wouldn't... Maybe someone who's not even from the same show. Like, I don't know, trying to think of a
Ezri Dax or something.
Yeah, Jordy's married to Ezri Dax, yes. I was thinking a little...
Or has children with. We don't know that he's married.
That's true. I was thinking maybe a little more minor. I don't know. Trying to think. No, I got nothing. But
Naomi Wildman, that would be creepy.
That would be creepy. No. But
no,
maybe...
Forget that I said that.
But maybe Samantha Wildman. Jordy's the stepfather who stepped up. I don't know.
Go.
Well, no, because she's married to She's actually married, but her husband was in the opposite.
Yeah, but it's been 20 years.
It's true.
You never know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, yeah, it's been 20 years, and he was gone. She was gone for 7, and you know.
Or Ro Laren. That would be interesting.
That has precedent.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Jordy and Ro, we see they know if we go back to the next phase from TNG. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like something like that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Ooh, how about Lieutenant J?
There we go.
Yes!
That's how we bring her in. That would be great.
Yes, I love it. All this speculation. All right, it's going to be Brahms because that's what everybody wants. Or they're not going to say anything. It's like, these are Geordie's daughters, and we're not going to talk about their mother at all.
That would be funny. I would love, like, every week, everybody's waiting, like, who's it going to be? And then 10th episode rolls around and just, nope.
Don't know.
Maybe it's a Lower Decks character.
Yeah. Alyssa Ogawa? Why not?
Again,
she was in a relationship with an unseen person in TNG, but that was 20 years ago, so, you know.
Exactly.
I think his name was Andrew? Yeah. Andrew.
Yes.
Yeah, Andrew Powell, I believe, or something like that. Yeah. I don't know why I have that memory. Yeah.
I don't think we need to ask each other those questions because that's the nature of the beast.
My mind is
fans.
full of completely useless Star Trek information. That's just how it is.
Yep. And that's how it should be.
I always wonder what I've squeezed out of my mind to make room for the fact
that
right? Ogawa's partner is Andrew Powell. Like, what important bit of algebra or whatever has been pushed out?
Pythagorean theorem. There you go.
Yep, it's gone.
That's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I still got that one.
All right. You know what? I still remember that too because I have to talk about Pythagoras when I talk about that area in Greece. So anyway, is there anything else we want to talk about with the trailer? I think we covered it. I'm sure there's something we're forgetting.
Probably, but we'll talk about that in February when we talk about the episodes.
This is true. And I'm sure we'll have another trailer or something in the interim, so.
I guess I do like the prominence of Beverly Crusher. I think that's something
we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yes,
they're being hunted or something like that. So, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there, but I love that it kind of starts with her.
Yeah. Yeah, and there is. Geez, that's funny. Speaking of Downton Abbey, there is the kid from Downton Abbey that they have cast whose name escapes me.
I'm like,
that's
where are you
right.
going with this? Okay, now I'm following.
Well, that some people are speculating is going to be their son.
No,
In some kind of, Carol Marcus, stay away from me. I don't. Want
I know
my
some
kid
people
with
are
you.
speculating that, but
I
no,
don't think so.
I do not think so. Sorry, Christos.
Their relationship was not one that. No. Even if they haven't talked in 20 years, she's not walking away with the product of a one-night stand with him.
And she's certainly not keeping it a secret from him.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be ridiculous. So I'll be interested to see who he is supposed to be, but no. Right. So Lower Decks.
But we did get a Prodigy trailer.
Yes.
Right, because they brought in Jellicoe.
Yes.
That was the thing.
I would have expected Jellicoe to come in on Lower Decks, not Prodigy.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Sort of like when we find out that Okana is on Prodigy. It's like, that seems like a Lower Decks appearance.
And it was. But
And it
also,
was,
yes.
but...
I always, I never understood why it wasn't him or Nechayev in the first season of Picard. Can you imagine, Edward Jellicoe saying to Picard, "You're sheer effing hubris," and he would have had so much more background on that. Nechayev too. So
Nechayev, I think, would have been my pick for that role. That would have been terrific.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know what's wild is we talk about Jellicoe. So Ronnie Cox, who plays Jellicoe, has a long history of playing asshole characters like that.
That's
He
true.
plays a very much asshole character on Stargate SG-1, recurring character. People probably know him from RoboCop. If you ever met the man in person, he is the sweetest, nicest person. It is...
Isn't that always the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really funny. I was going to say basically the same thing about the woman who plays Admiral Nechayev.
Oh, yeah. Natalia Nikulich, yeah.
Yeah, she is just absolutely the sweet. First of all, she's tiny. When you meet her in person, she is tiny and just the sweetest person in the world as well.
Yeah, because she always goes to STOV, and she's... one of the things that's really cool is she still has her Admiral uniform from when she was on the show.
Aww,
oh, wow.
That's cool.
And she because that's a thing that she always, when she goes to STOV, she always, she wears it for her photo ops with people.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
I'm even more impressed that it still fits her.
I know, right?
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
Good for her.
Robin Curtis still has her Sapphic uniform that she also wears for convention photo ops.
That one I knew,
Oh
yeah.
my god, I love it.
Yeah, Robin Curtis also just amazingly
Yes.
wonderful human being.
Yes, indeed. All right, I think that's it for the...
Okay, yeah, I think we've covered most things. We should,
And even if we haven't, it's been 35 minutes
35
here, so-
minutes into this, we should probably talk about the episode. Yeah, let's release a 3-hour episode on a podcast episode on a half-hour Lower Decks episode.
That would be par for the course with us. So
Yeah, it wouldn't be that
we're not going to
strange,
make
yeah.
that joke because it could happen. So yeah, Crisis Point 2, Paradoxus. First thoughts,
I think it's my favorite of the season so far.
Dan?
I was so looking forward to this because Crisis Point was my favorite of season 1, and this is very good. I very much enjoyed this. I don't know that I enjoy it as much as the first one, but it's up there as definitely in the top 5 or so episodes of Lower Decks for me.
For sure, yeah.
I don't think it's my favorite
really good.
Lower Decks episode. I don't think it... I don't really know if anything can ever eclipse Wedge Douche for me.
Yeah,
but
that's my current number 1 as well.
but it definitely...
Wedge Douche Part 2. When we get it.
But I think it is my favorite of this season, although probably by a hair, because I did really like Hear All, Trust Nothing.
Yeah.
That's a tough one to beat for me, too.
I'm really glad they sandwiched the peanut hamper episode between those two, because you can forget about it very easily.
Yeah.
Or,
I know you liked that.
Or you could say it's a run of 3 excellent episodes of Lower Decks.
Also true. One could say that.
I've said this before. I admire big swings, so on that level, I
Yes.
appreciated the peanut hamper episode, but it just didn't land completely for me.
It's okay.
Yes.
You're all allowed to be wrong.
Yes, we are. And so are you. All right. So I love the idea that Boimler has taken all of this time to write a sequel to his program that wasn't really a movie in the first place and all of that. So we start out with the Chronogami and the Romulans trying to attack it.
The Melponar triplets.
Yes, I don't know if I spelled that right on the outline, but, close enough. Did you notice that they had... The uniforms are Romulan style, but they had the Klingon boob window in them.
Yes, because they are clearly an homage to Lursa and B'Etor.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Yes.
And so that means this episode has the distinction of, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the very first time in Star Trek universe that we have seen Romulan cleavage.
I think you may be right.
I think you are right. I'm trying to think. The only other time we might have seen it was with the Romulan commander in the original series, whose name I can't... episode name.
She never got a name. She was just the Romulan commander.
Right, and that's the name of the episode is escaping me.
Oh, the Enterprise
incident.
Thank you, yeah. But I think she like wearing like a turtleneck or something almost. So.
Yeah,
her uniforms, like she was wearing a miniskirt, but
that was the only change to the standard uniform.
But it was, it was the normal uniform on top, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, so I think you're right.
I think this is the first time we've ever seen Romulan cleavage, because most Romulan outfits that we have seen are very are usually covered neck to toe.
Caitlin Dar in Star Trek V. Yeah, I think she was pretty conservative as well, though.
Yeah. It was the long flowing dress, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that had a low cut, though, but I don't know.
Hold on, let me look.
Cleavage. Well, yes, we're going to use the Google machine.
I'm now going to, look at Romulan boobs for science.
Be interested to know how that affects your Google algorithm.
Yeah.
I didn't realize on first watch that there was that cutout, and then the second time I watched it, I was like, "Oh my god, that's fantastic! That's just beautiful."
Well, I love that Boimler would have had to have programmed that all in too. Like it's
true.
It's not in universe. It's not the decisions of animators somewhere. It's Boimler meticulously crafting this program.
No, her outfit in Star Trek V is all the way up to her neck.
Yeah, it's like silver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Unless she's wearing a different outfit at the party at the end. So hold on, let me check that.
Oh, I didn't think about the party.
And that's what I was thinking of, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, I forget she's in that scene too. Yeah,
we get Klingon cleavage in that party.
Very much.
Oh,
so.
You're right. Nope, she has cleavage in. She's wearing a low cut dress in the scene at the party at the end.
Wow.
So this Lower Decks episode is the second time that we get Romulan cleavage.
Somebody update Memory Alpha.
If there is not a Memory Alpha article for Romulan cleavage, then,
what are we even doing?
What are they even doing? Yeah.
Yeah, let's make one. Yeah. It's a wiki for a reason, people. Come on. So we have that wonderful movie. We're just going to jump right into it. And then we go to basically a regular lab where they invented the Chronogami.
Mm-hmm. It even has a Genesis device in the corner.
I missed that. That's fantastic.
I did too. I only saw it because your Killebrand on Twitter, of course, found it and tweeted about it.
We also get the generic red tube device that's everywhere and not even just in Star Trek. I love that thing. I love that they've recreated it in animation.
Yes. And what I really loved was we get the close up of the computer screen explaining the Chronogami, and it is straight out of Star Trek II with the Genesis device explanation, complete with all the weird knobs and switches next to the computer display that aren't actually there in the wide shot. And it's so good.
That's excellent. And of course, Rutherford raving about the graphics. I love that. That was lovely.
The graphics are mind-blowing. Which, looking back on it, I think was intended as sarcasm, but it still works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's making fun of it the whole time.
Yeah. Most people is a strong word. A lot of Star Trek fans will probably know this, that was actually the very first completely computer animated scene in a feature film in Wrath of Khan.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved how meticulously the Regula lab was recreated here. Like even the weird geometric thing that kind of encircles the work area. The beams, I guess. I don't know what they were, but I love that. Like they just... The amount of work and passion that goes into the backgrounds and the environments by the animators, just incredible. It blows my mind. Like Deep Space Nine blew my mind 2 weeks ago, and then I'm just like, it's beautiful.
Agreed. Down to the point where we have movie scratches, film scratches throughout the whole episode, and I just love that.
There's film grain, and there's the scratches, and...
That's the word,
Yeah. Well, because there's the grain, but then you also will see the little black scratches that pop up. And then it's obviously got the anamorphic black bars at the top and bottom, complete with the scene when Mariner leaves the holodeck, and she has to step over the black bar to leave the holodeck, and I freaking lost it. That is probably my favorite joke in this episode, possibly my favorite joke in all of Lower Decks.
That was wonderful.
Yeah, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. All right, so Cerritos is dealing with that, and then the Wayfarer comes in, which
Captain
is a Sovereign class?
Dagger.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Sovereign
Correct
class.
me if I'm... It is Sovereign. Okay, so I wasn't sure on that. Yeah.
But the
so
Elcar's display on the bridge behind them has the Titan because they reused the set that they had used for the Titan in Season 2.
Oh, interesting. I didn't notice that.
Again, I didn't notice that either. Other people on Twitter did.
The concept of we're going to reuse a set for an animated show just makes me laugh. I mean, I realize you do that. I'm not, but it's just funny.
So
but
now,
what's really funny on that is someone pointed that out, and Mike McMahon replied by saying, "Well, see, the Wayfarer has a display for ships that are going to be removed from canon." As a joke about how there's the new class, the Titan in Picard.
See, now, I was wondering if, like, even if this wasn't the case, they could make the case that this was intentional, because in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, the reused bridge of the Enterprise for the Reliant just kind of moved around. There are some computer graphics that show a secondary hull of the Enterprise.
That's a fair point, yeah.
So, like, the animators could say, that was totally intentional as an homage.
Totally intentional, and they didn't just reuse the same graphics that they used on the Titan.
No, not at all.
Oh, that's funny. All right, so we have Captain Bucephalus Decker. I don't know where to go with that. Bucephalus, like, the only Bucephalus I know is Alexander the Great's horse.
Yes.
I thought you were going to tell me that you knew an actual person named Bucephalus.
God, no.
See, now, after the episode's over with the horsey stuff that happens at the end, I'm like, is that was there a little, like, hint there? But,
whoa!
Yeah.
That would be really deep, though.
That would be a very deep cut.
They do that.
The horse is going to bite you now.
That was so wonderful. We'll get to that when we get to it.
Yeah.
Is Decker supposed to be a reference to Decker? Probably.
Well, it's
Dagger.
Dagger, yeah.
Oh, it was Dagger?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh.
That very first scene, it sounded like Decker. Like, I thought it was Decker. And I was like, nice.
Okay.
But then, later on, they're saying Dagger, yeah.
Okay. Okay, well then never mind on that. Bucephalus Dagger. Yeah, okay. Alexander the Great's horse and a weapon. All right. Mariner is Rebecca Doodle.
I love that.
If there's the rest of these, I did not have references. I had no idea. So if there's something I'm missing,
I don't
please
think
tell
there's
me.
a reference. I think it's just a. I think they're just to be fun names, and then we get Mariner, who's just Rebecca Doodle.
Mm-hmm. All right, so the Tandy Mina Vesper and Rutherford Silvo Toussaint.
Mon chéri, I guarantee.
No. I'll probably just play it straight.
Yeah, just play it straight. Yep. All right, and I didn't notice this until I think the second time I watched it. They have their uniforms are First Contact style, but in the Lower Decks style.
Yeah, with the white stripe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I liked that.
I was probably going too deep on my thinking with this, but I was like, they're wearing uniforms with captain's rank and commander's rank.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I wonder if they have to, by Starfleet uniform code, make them not real uniforms in order to not be, I don't know, charged with something under the uniform code. And that's why they have the white stripe. Probably
I love
not.
that theory. I don't think it's correct, but I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again,
Yeah, I
probably
like that.
thinking way too deep on it, but I did love that little embellishment.
I think Boimler probably just thought the uniforms looked cool that way.
That's
Yeah.
probably more reasonable.
Well, the white stripe is a consistent add-on from what they have on Lower Decks, so that made sense to me. But all right, and we get the wonderful credits again.
So
That's
interestingly, this is technically the first episode of Lower Decks without a traditional title card. After the theme,
Oh, that's right.
they don't show the title in the upper left like they normally do. But we do get this scene with the movie theater title in a few minutes later. So they're using this as the title card for the episode, which I thought was interesting.
That's cool,
I
yeah.
didn't catch that. That is really cool. I like that. Then we find out we have to go to Tatis Score 9.
Yes.
Nice touch.
I like that.
Nice touch. I hope they all get planets named after them at some point, or systems.
We also get the moons of Shatanari this
Yes.
Yes. So when they're on Tatis Score 9, I called this Preacher's Row because I didn't know what else to call it. It reminded me of the scene in Life of Brian when he's walking down the street and there's all the different preachers, and then he has to replace one of them, and then Knick Knack following him around. If Knick Knack had been holding a shoe, or a sandal, or a gourd, okay, then I would have known that they were intending to make a Life of Brian reference, but maybe not.
I love it. That would have been great.
I like when Knick Knack shows up and Mariner's just like, what in the... she makes a... What the alien of the week bullshit is this?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the third act Knick Knack reveal. All right, so we have a reference
Oh,
to
there's your
Minuki.
romance.
Yeah. Yeah, I like they just tossed that in. No, he wasn't paying attention at all.
I'm in
As
love with
usual.
you,
too,
purple
Knick
hair.
Knack.
I'm in love with you. God, I could watch this episode all day.
Which we kind of get a reference to his not paying attention to that kind of thing at the end when he talks about staying a raisin farmer. Okay, so we got a Minuki reference, we got a koala reference, and then we also got a reference to we're all living in a holographic simulation,
That
which
was
is beautiful.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that was, I like that a lot. And then we have Knick Knack and the skin map guy and Katiha. Mm-hmm. That was
I love
that
the
was a
final
thing.
reveal for Kitty Ha. That just...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I do love the idea of like the holodeck procedurally generating stuff because you're wandering off the main whatever, and it's like, okay, let's pull and the actual I will reveal it, and my revelation is
Yeah, that was
Processing.
so good. Thou art a map!
We ended up with two very different things going on, supposedly in the same holodeck, which is very interesting to me, but I think I probably shouldn't think too hard about that.
I think so what happens with the holodeck is, because it can create anything anywhere, you can have a whole bunch of people in the same holodeck at different parts, because there's just like holographic illusion hiding the other people, even though they're actually like 50 feet away. You can't see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you were a third-party observer and you like took the top off the holodeck and were looking in, it'd be like, weird optical illusions that like separate the two groups or whoever.
The holodeck is huge. If you remember from Voyager, the killing game, when that bomb explodes and tears out part of the holodeck wall, we see that the holodeck is at least like 4 decks high.
Just for that one episode, though.
Yeah, just for that one episode.
If we could tangent for a second, and I apologize for this.
By all means, and don't you dare apologize.
What has always blown my mind is the Deep Space Nine episode "Take Me Out to the Holosuite." Mm-hmm. Are those two teams all in the same holosuite? Like those tiny holosuites in Quarks that we see? Like, are they all like 3 inches from each other, but think they're like, that blew my mind.
Yeah, that's it. Because every time we see the holosuite in Quarks, it is like,
very small.
You could practically touch the walls from either side.
Yeah.
That is a very interesting question. Also, beyond that, like, bada bing, bada bang. We've got all this stuff happening in different rooms and different How does that work? Or is there a giant Quarks holosuite that we just never see on screen? Like, there's the little ones, but then there's also the big one that they use for baseball games.
I always thought maybe like the Niners went into one holosuite and the Logicians went into another, and they like conferenced or something. I don't know.
Okay, so it's like baseball by Zoom. Okay.
Anyway, that's where my mind always goes with holodeck stuff. I'm like, how does that work? Anyway,
I never thought about that with
if
the
you do it
holosuite.
that
That's
way,
great.
once you hit the ball, do you get like transported from home plate to the separate outfield holodeck? Like, how does that work?
Oh man.
I remember seeing once there was a thing where they analogized it to a treadmill.
Yeah.
It looked like you were moving, but you weren't. But that only works if you have 1 or 2 people that are moving in the same direction.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's a mystery.
Yeah.
I like the idea that Quark has a giant holosuite that he charges extra for, though. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Perfect sense.
And the fact that he almost certainly does charge by the size explains why we usually see the small ones, because they're generally not going to pay for the big one.
Yeah.
That
there
makes
you
sense.
Go. All right.
Headcanon accepted.
I know I haven't brought up yet Boimler getting called out and finding about William. We'll come back to that. Tendi then gets to lead the mission, and like just jumps into it, and is not out of character for her really, but it kind of is a little bit, you know. What do we think about Tendi as a potential captain?
Well, I think she's awesome in this. Like, there's the awesome scene where she crashes the bike and jumps over the... And she's got everything in hand. She knows what she's doing and is leading everybody. And yeah, I was kind of getting annoyed with both her and Rutherford, though, until the end. Like, I'm like, she's taking it too seriously, and he's not taking it seriously enough, and there needs to be a middle ground here.
Yeah. Yeah, yes, definitely.
I agree.
I think it's an interesting turn for her character. I don't know. It feels like maybe a bit too much all at once, because we kind of have her on... I mean, she is on the bridge officer track, right? She's taking that training to be a bridge science officer. And I would almost like a little bit more exploration of that, like what that means, becoming a science officer on the bridge, before we go to the like, hey, I really want to be a captain, let's pursue that. And I mean, I don't know where it's going to go from here, but I I'm interested to see where that all goes, but I was also really interested to see, like, how do you become a Jadzia Dax or a Spock? Like, what does that track look like? I don't know.
Well, Spock's got the command training too.
That's
So
true as
maybe
well,
we'll
yeah.
see it that way.
And Janeway started out as a science officer before she became a captain.
That's
There
a
you go.
very good point. Absolutely, yeah.
So we'll see both.
That would be cool. I mean, best of both worlds, right?
See what you did there.
Yes. Yes. All right. So first we go to 2341 and the algae crisis. That was...
We're smack dab in the middle of the algae crisis.
On one level, though, I have to say I love the introduction of new lore. Like, I love that it's, not referencing something that we've seen in another episode or film. It's like, oh, there was this big crisis in 2341. Kind of silly, but interesting that, they've created this new thing that, like, is officially, like, if the Star Trek timeline book was still being put out, chronology, that would have to be
The
put in
history
there.
of the future, yes.
Yeah, this big algae crisis of 2341.
So, I have to point out that while I love seeing Monster Maroons in Lower Decks, they are wearing the wrong uniforms for 2341. Because they were still wearing Monster Maroons at that point, because for some reason Starfleet loved the Monster Maroons so much they wore it for like 80 years. But they didn't have the high collars by 2341.
The turtlenecks were gone.
Yep.
I'll respond to that by saying if we can have jumpsuit uniforms on DS9 and regular next gen uniforms at the same time, maybe
fair.
the collar became optional. Yeah.
That makes sense, yeah.
It does.
Captain's discretion.
There you go. And then we jump from there to Sydney, 1982, I think it was. I had the closed caption on, and it covered it up. So, where we're going to have to save the life of the ancestor of the guy who talked to the algae. Which I love.
I
But
loved
the punks were the best part.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Pants don't fit. We need to find bigger punks.
1982, my birth year. That was pretty cool. I was happy to see
Same
that.
here. Yay.
I was not alive yet.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But the punks, of course, were pitch perfect. That was good.
Yes.
The boombox that he just never takes down from his...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the boombox guy was clearly an homage to Kirk Thatcher's character from Star Trek 4.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because the skull on his chest was also the punk on the bus had that in Star Trek 4.
Missed that. I missed that. That's awesome.
That's all. Yeah, I didn't catch that either.
And the bulldog collar.
That I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, right. And then the other guy had Rick Sanchez hair
Yes, he did.
when he followed the grouse. So that was a nice touch toward Rick and Morty.
That's pretty cool.
But the we don't want any witnesses.
That delivery on that was perfect. Yeah. Fred Tatasciore as Shax. Consistently one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's fantastic. And then we jump from there to the founding of the Federation, which I thought was interesting. And then finally, we find out why Tendy's been so serious all this time, and it was because she thinks that they're making fun of the idea of her being.
So,
a
which
captain.
one of those tiny little figures is Archer? Do you think?
One of them.
Or he's still in the back getting a pep talk from T'Pol and Phlox.
Oh, there you go. There you
Well,
go.
then wouldn't he be like with the anyway? I think it's
No, they're on a balcony.
Yeah, they're on the
they're-
same balcony that
Riker was on.
Riker and Troy were on, and also that Archer and Daniels were on when Daniels takes
Yep.
them forward in time to see that.
Oh yeah.
So my thought is, I think Archer is the guy that's standing near the table
Okay.
because he looks sort of Bakula-esque.
I would have to pull it up and look at it again. So,
I was kind of
But I'll take
looking
that.
forward to, like, if the camera got down there somewhere, I was looking forward to seeing an animated Archer somehow, but...
Yeah, same.
yeah.
This would have
yeah.
been perfect for some from Enterprise cameos here, but if you do look, there is an Andorian at the table, though.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool. You gotta make me pull this thing up and look at it. You always have it running when we're talking, or up when we're talking.
Yes, I always have
That's
it
a good
open so
idea.
I can like swipe through the whole episode while we're talking. I love one of the things I love about that scene though is we get the establishing shot of Federation headquarters, which is the same shot that we got in Star Trek 4 and then was reused in TNG.
Yeah. And the logo kept coming off and being put back on.
Yeah, although I saw someone on Twitter, I think it was Aaron Harvey, actually said that it's actually interesting that the Federation logo is already there for when they're signing the charter for the Federation.
Yes.
Well, that's a good point. Yes. I didn't think of that.
Yep. Well, you want to set the right tone.
Yeah.
So then we have the Romulan disruptor that is really, really fast for the one, and then really, really slow for Dr. Tiana, so that we have a heartfelt death scene. Don't bullshit a bullshitter.
Yeah. As she's very, very slowly vaporizing, my brain just goes to weird places. Like, so she's still talking to Tendi, but she
has no lungs.
Just no lungs. She coughs a couple times though. So anyway, I'm like, okay, no, focus on the dialogue, Dan. Don't. It's a holodeck. It's fine.
Smells like fried Romulan in here.
Oh
God, that was terrible.
I actually did.
Even for him, what he was doing, that was terrible.
Yeah, I actually did kind of want to smack Rutherford for that. Like, dude, look at Tendi. Look at how she's feeling right now.
Mm-hmm.
I love
if it had
that
just been the Romulan.
I love that bomb though is the same design as the bomb from the first scene in Star Trek Nemesis.
Yeah, the Thaleron weapon. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So whenever we see Romulan disruptors, there's that line in Unification, I don't know much about Romulan disruptor settings. It's just beautiful. But if you read the novelization of Unification, there's like this whole tangent somewhere prior to that, so that you have it going into that scene, about how Romulan disruptor settings, they all kill you. It's just a matter of how slowly and how painfully.
Huh.
So you can have the disruptor setting that vaporizes you immediately, and that's, like, merciful, comparatively speaking. And then you have the ones that kill you very slowly. And all I could think of seeing that was like, oh, that's the slow death setting. That's terrible. Poor Tiana.
Wow. Huh, yeah. That's funny how that kind of just slots in with that. That's cool.
If you've not read the novelization of Unification, it's good. There's this whole other plot line about an officer on the Enterprise who Troy is trying to help because she had her family had pushed her into Starfleet, and they pushed her so hard that when her younger brother died, she couldn't go to the funeral because it was a day she had exams or something, and then that plays into the story with what's going on the Enterprise, and it's good. Anyway.
Interesting. I have it, and I've never read it. Interesting.
Oh, gods, I don't remember.
Okay.
It's a Google machine. I haven't read it in years and years, but that it's obviously that bit stuck in my head. Mm-hmm. Jerry Taylor wrote the novelization.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I kind of I had it in the back of my mind that it was her, but I wasn't sure, so that's pretty cool.
I hadn't realized Jerry Taylor wrote anything other than Mosaic.
Yeah.
Well, in Pathways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway. So we get that a bit resolved. They go, save the universe. They go back in time again, and they replace the chronogami with the bomb, and yay, we all win. And Tendy's a good captain. Now let's come back to Boimler's search for meaning, because he finds out that his transporter twin has died because of a gas leak in his quarters.
Neurozine gas.
Neurozine, yeah.
Which was the same gas that was going to kill everybody in the DS9 episode Civil Defense.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There's a small little thing that always bugs me, and this is the Voyager episode Message in a Bottle, where Neurazine, they've mentioned in Civil Defense, will kill you, and they use it properly here. It killed William Boimler. In the Voyager episode, the two EMHs are debating on how to incapacitate the Romulans. They say, what gases do we have? Anethazine, Neurazine? And they're like, oh, either of those will be fine. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, whoa. Like, that's a drastic
Maybe
step
it doesn't
there.
kill Romulans.
I was about to say.
Oh, that could be. Okay.
Different effect on Romulans.
I feel better about that now.
Or they don't care because the Romulans are the baddies. And they're holograms.
I mean, do no harm, guys. Come on.
Right. I'm not saying that's what my first thought was what Thad said, was that it has a different effect. But yeah. Not quite do no harm. Yeah.
Baddie
okay.
EMHs.
So
Sorry.
yes, Andy Dick is a bad EMH. I will agree with you there.
Yes.
I mean, he plays
Honestly,
it
that's the
but...
only role that Andy Dick has ever had that I don't hate.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel.
I enjoyed News Radio. So
I've never
his
seen
character
News Radio,
there,
so okay.
I think you'd like him on there. He's
Okay.
ridiculous. It's just, I mean, yeah. But it's hard to watch now because Joe Rogan plays a character that is basically who Joe Rogan is now, but like less crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Like, you kind of thought he was playing it for laughs because it's a sitcom. Then you're like, oh no, he's actually okay.
He thinks that, yeah. Right. So William Boimler dies. Also, did anybody feel like it was a complete violation of regulations and, just trust in general that Ransom told Mariner about what happened?
A little, but I think he was doing it in a way to look out for Boimler.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right.
And I also totally believe Ransom that he was like, oh, I totally would have thought he'd have said this to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also agree with Thad that it was, hey, he needs somebody to look out for him and let's bring Mariner in on this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I don't know why it was so funny, but I practically went into hysterics when Ransom said, "I don't know what I would do without Honus the bartender, Nurse Westlake, and Matt the whale."
Yeah.
Friends for life.
Yeah.
And then, of course, who does that not include, right? Stevens.
Oh, I didn't even think of that at the time, but yeah. Oh, man.
Poor Stevens. That's why he threw himself against the warp core.
Oh, not again.
Apparently twice.
In one day.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that was just so wonderfully ridiculous. Yeah. Okay, so this sends Boimler on the search for meaning, which I totally get, and I love how they set this up, because, of course, William didn't die in, like, some heroic Starfleet way. There was a gas leak, and that was it. And so there was no... It was that idea of, like, the meaningless, quote-unquote, meaningless death. So that's how we end up at Preacher's Row, and that's how we end up searching for Katiha. Right, so Mariner gets mad at him and stalks off and then comes back when she finds out what happened. And they're both in the brig because they mutinied against him. The great purple head.
Mm-hmm.
I like when she's talking to she's like, you guys don't even have names, and she's like, she knows nothing about us. Acolyte number 2 sees her.
Yes, that was beautiful.
That was great. The jailbreak, of course, very reminiscent of Scotty and Star Trek V.
Yes,
that was good. Good old knick-knack.
I love you, purple hair. I'm in love with you.
I'm in love with you too, knick-knack.
Well, there's your romance.
Yeah, come back to that at some point for Crisis Point 3 or something. Just have that be.
Bucephalus Dagger has to come out of retirement. He's living in a cabin with Knick-Knack.
Yeah.
Not where I was going, but I love it. Okay.
I think that's beautiful. Absolutely.
I was thinking more along the lines the villain would be Knick-Knack because he's been spurned.
Oh.
Aw.
Well,
No, they have something
or
beautiful.
not. Never mind. Okay, that's fine. I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying that was a potential plot line.
I like it. I think that's got potential for sure.
Yeah.
There's a connection with the Bucephalus and Alexander, because the guy that killed Alexander's father, Philip II, was an ex-lover, maybe.
I thought you said I thought you were going to say the guy who killed Philip II was named Knick-Knack.
It's an old and storied name in civilization, yeah. Anyway, right, okay, so I'm jumping around here, but
That's fine.
the rock monster, the rock monster on Shitnari.
Oh yeah, that's clearly a Star Trek V reference.
Oh, yeah.
so good, so good.
But I also definitely got Aladdin Cave of Wonders vibes from it too.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's
When it first popped up, what immediately popped in my head was "Touch nothing but the lamp."
I didn't even go there. I love it. And then we have. I love how it's just giving platitudes. I mean,
A random
again,
quote
that's
generator.
the holodeck trying to reconcile that.
I also love that instead of just jumping into the mouth, Boimler kicks a hole in the rocks.
Yeah.
Like, the mouth is right there. You could just, go in.
Well, yeah. I think he wants to hurt it, maybe.
Yeah. And that's when he sees the right flyer from Kitty Hawk.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Which, I just love the TMP reference. It's amazing.
Yeah.
That revelation doesn't even make sense.
My movie is trash.
Oh.
And then he has his dehydrated fever dream.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That was beautiful. Is this the afterlife or the Nexus?
Is this the first time that George Takei has canonically said "Oh my" in Star Trek?
I think you're right.
I think so.
Because it.
Wow.
Okay, wait. Undiscovered Country. He says, "My God."
Yes. Yeah. Shields.
Yeah.
Shields.
I think you're right. I love it.
That's cool. I love it too. That's amazing.
That's good.
And he's like, "Would you like to pet the horsey?"
Something about his delivery on that line.
Oh, it's perfect.
If I was drinking something, it would have gone out my nose at that moment. That was so good.
Because it's just this moment of like, oh, he's talking to a child, and he knows he's talking to a child.
Well, because he asks, "Is this the afterlife?" And he's like, "No, it's Idaho. Would you like to pet the horsey?" I love it.
Oh, I love it. And then it's going to bite him, and then he wakes up.
Horsey. Well, yeah, because he starts asking a bunch of questions. I love. He's like, I love that he was asking about. Was it weird to use the crystal buttons on the Enterprise?
Yes.
The horsey will bite you now.
The horsey's going to bite you now.
They did a great job with the animation where he was happy, and then all of a sudden just goes into, oh my god.
Oh, one
And
of
then that
those.
horse just straight up goes for his neck. It's
I do have to say the parts where Sulu was talking about death and the randomness of it and that sort of thing, and the philosophy of appreciating those around you and all that stuff. I got a little emotional because, of course, having recently the world has lost Nichelle Nichols and all of a lot of George's colleagues from the original Star Trek days. Like I was hearing George Takei there and talking about his colleagues and people in his life and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I think that emotion was there in his voice. Like it really felt real in that moment.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, then we go from that to Mariner congratulating Boimler on not adding a cliffhanger ending. And then going to the cliffhanger ending.
Of course, which we all saw coming.
I love so much that he calls out how ridiculous the black badges are, because we've all been saying that since they first showed up.
Yes. Had to put that on there because it's just like, you could still be dead. Oh, okay, never mind. And we've got a Defiant class ship, but we don't see it well enough to see if it has a name on it. So,
for all we know, it may even be the Defiant because it has a cloak.
Maybe.
And
that's true.
We know that the Defiant should be the only one with a cloak.
Yeah, and
should be.
And according to the novels, the second Defiant did get a cloak as well as the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. So, I have an idea here that I just want to put on into the ether, and it probably won't be true, but, you know, it's our podcast, so I can say whatever I want.
Sure.
You had mentioned that on Weekly Trek about how you think we're still going to get a Section 31, but it's going to be a movie, right? That prompted me to think of this crossover that we're having with Strange New Worlds. Okay. And I wonder if it's not going to be Brad Boimler that we see, but William.
Okay, but Mariner's there.
Okay. Oh, well, maybe not just Brad.
Okay, I get you. Okay.
And then that would lead into a Section 31 movie, show, whatever, in that era. Because we don't know where Michelle Yeoh's character is. Yeah, so it's a weird theory. I don't know.
I like that.
I put it out there. It's possible.
So, yeah, I like Jack Quaid and Michelle Yeoh in the Section 31 movie. That sounds awesome. Yeah. Also give us, if we're doing all of Section 31 throughout time, then also give us Alexander Siddig and Dominic Keating.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And make the books canon and give us Connor Trinneer.
And somehow bring back William Sadler. I don't know how, but why not? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we'd also see Ash Tyler or whatever.
Oh yeah.
He's calling himself now. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird. It's probably not at all how it's going to work out, but it occurred to me that would be.
And if they can also draw from the Discovery novels, and we can get Sean Finnegan, that would be awesome too.
Oh, yeah. Let's just have them do the novels. That's just what they need to do. Is all the novels,
right?
I mean, I've been saying for years that the next Star Trek series I really want is a televised version of Vanguard.
Here.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I wanted a mini series of Destiny before that was kind of
yeah.
But
or the Cold Equations series that you were talking about earlier. That would be cool too.
Oh gods, yeah, that would be good. Well, at least we have them in novel form. We can play the movies in our heads.
That's true. Mm-hmm. Probably better than what we would get anyway. Just because
I think a show of Vanguard would work really well.
Oh,
actually.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They wouldn't have to necessarily stick to the novel materials for everything.
No. But they also already have David Mack working as a consultant on some of the shows, so they could bring him in to work on that too.
Yeah. I just want a canonical to Prin. Oh, that would be amazing.
And a canonical explanation for what happened and why Ceti Alpha,
why Ceti Alpha 5?
Ceti Alpha 6 exploded.
Yes.
Yeah.
But no one can explain why the crew of the Reliant can't count.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a different issue entirely. Okay. The other thing here I noticed, and it's really in passing, but we had talked about how we didn't know how they were going to resolve the Mariner having to be watched by Ransom's story, and I think they resolved it with a line of him just saying, "You're doing well, everybody's happy." Because it felt like they established that, they used it for one episode, and then it's gone. So I think this is supposed to resolve it.
Yeah. With regards to this episode, I think it's interesting that, it's mostly about Boimler and his arc and that sort of thing. But I think it says a lot about Mariner as well. And like you say, you've got this throwaway line here where your evaluations have gone really well. Everyone's really pleased. That's awesome. But there's also the aspect of her taking that first officer position to Boimler and really supporting him even before she knows about William Boimler and all of this. she takes the name Rebecca Doodle, which it's a bit silly, but she's, kind of willing to take a little bit on the cheek for Boimler and support him. And there's a little bit of pushback when she sees her, her artistic integrity being impugned kind of thing. But she immediately comes right back when she finds that out about William Boimler and is really supportive of Boimler through this, which I don't think necessarily wasn't there in her character before, but it's a little bit of growth for her to be that supporting of a friend when in the past it's been a little bit more her getting that support and not necessarily being that, subordinate support to this friend of hers, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, that's I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, because she's I like that. She's learning and growing, which she needs. Yeah. Okay, so we just end up throwing canon connections as a section out the window every time we watch Lower Decks. It's
just the whole episode is a canon connection.
Is there anything that came up that we didn't mention under that category?
I mean, there's so many things, but
okay.
we touched on all the cool things, I think.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about before we get into final thoughts?
Oh, so there is actually one thing that I noticed in this episode, and now notice every time I watch any Lower Decks episode. A bunch of the Elcar's displays on the ship, if you look at them, they are illuminated more brightly in the center and sort of fade to black around the edges, which is not something that would actually happen on an anime. There's no reason for them to do that on the anime. It's a clear reference to on TNG when those displays were lit by incandescent light bulbs behind the display. And I love it.
That's brilliant.
That is fantastic. Oh, see, we talk about this attention to detail, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it right there, And that's why it takes them so long. I'm perfectly happy with 10 episodes taking a long time if they're going to have that kind of detail. I mean, wow.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's beautiful. I'm going to have to pay closer attention to that. That's cool.
Me too. Yeah. All right. Well then, final thoughts on Crisis Point 2 Paradoxus.
I loved it.
Yeah. I'll second that. I really enjoyed this one. I love episodes that have good character development, and this one has that in spades, and is just a visual treat as well. So, yeah, very much following in the line of the original Crisis Point.
Yeah. All right. Well, Dan, thank you so much for joining us for this discussion today and all of its requisite tangents that we had. Where can listeners find you online, and what current and upcoming work would you like to mention?
Well, of course, as you said, Positively Trek is kind of the biggest concern right now going on. Podcast that I do with fellow podcaster Barry DeFord. Usually weekly. Main episodes are every 2 weeks. Book club every 2 weeks on opposite weeks. Hopefully, maybe miss a few, but we're getting things back on track. And, of course, my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Kurtratz Productions. Biggest thing we do on there right now is a live discussion of each week's new Star Trek show with me and Brandy Jackala. And, Twitter @Kurtratz. And that's just Star Trek backwards. So easy to remember.
I love that.
I cannot begin to tell you how embarrassed I was of myself that it took me so long to realize that's what that was.
I love it.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, and Thad, where can people find you when you're not taking a historical artifact and reworking it into something that will become a cult in 500 years?
Best place to find me is also on Twitter. I am @Tyrannicus. That's TYRANICUS, where I talk about a lot of things, but mostly Star Trek. And you can also hear me on the podcast I do with my friend Carl about the James Bond films called License to Spiel. That's license spelled with a C, like the British and Canadians do it. And those are really the best places to find me. Chrissie, where can people find you when you're not reading someone's saggy skin to find out where to go?
Sure. In addition, here on Infinite Diversity, you can find me on History with the Szilagys here on BQN. And that's a twice-weekly history short podcast that I do with my fellow historian partner, Jason. I'm also happy to chat about our shows in the BQN Collective on Facebook. And I'm on Twitter at The Goddess Livia, that's TheGoddessLivia, where I tweet about Star Trek history and leftist politics.
Don't forget all of the other great shows on BQN, like Galaxy Class, All Good Things, Union Federation, What's the T-Bev, Mickey's Marvels, and History with the Szilagys. And exclusive for our Patreon members, there's It's Green with Mark White and Amy's Math Moment.
And thank you so much for tuning into Infinite Diversity. Thank you to Zach Tripp for the wonderful theme music and Tony Robinson for the awesome show art. Please subscribe in your favorite podcast player, and don't forget to rate and review us there as well.
If you want to reach out, you can find the network on Twitter at BQN Podcasts, or our show specifically at IDIC Podcast. You can also talk about any and all of the BQN podcasts in our Facebook group, the BQN Collective. On our next episode, we'll be talking about Lower Deck's Trusted Sources. Until then, peace and long life.